Thanks, Clinton. The Troy Broadbridge Memorial Trophy goes to a player that attained the most votes by a Melbourne list player at the Casey Best and Fairest. This player has had an exceptional year at VFL level, be though it wasn't where he wanted to be. His time at Casey, particularly over the last 2 seasons, he certainly gave his all to the program, going above and beyond what was expected from a full-time AFL listed player. Casey wasn't his main priority, but he invested in Casey like it was his own. Whether it was a combined AFL-VFL training session, or whether it was his game day role, or whether it was a conversation around how we make our alignment better. He certainly made my job easier, and I thank him for that. He represents all the great qualities you want from an individual. He cares for his teammates, and they care for him just the same. I love what this young man stands for. The Troy Broadbridge Memorial Trophy goes to Jack Trengove.
Manipulate my decisions, baby, there's nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back. Last time I think we took it way too far.
All right, Jack. There he is. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Jack Trengove. Well, Jack, welcome to Best and Fairest night. A solid year for the VFL boys. Unfortunately, not that ultimate success you would have liked. Yeah, okay. That's slip up number one. The foundations, though, are there, Jack?
Yeah, definitely. I think, a lot of us would have loved to have finished off the year a lot better. We had a pretty poor start and ended up getting top 4, but then out in straight sets, which nobody wants to go out in straight sets. But no, I think we developed a lot as a group, and especially some of the young boys to come through and end up playing the way they did, like Dion Johnston, Declan Kildy, Corey Maynard. They showed a lot of development, and I think it's setting ourselves up for a great future, especially those sort of boys. So it's exciting times ahead.
Obviously, it's been a frustrating run with injury for yourself, but round 11, a really great moment when you got to run out on the G against Hawthorn. That must have brought you immense joy. Yeah,
definitely. I think that was the biggest aim after I got injured. I wanted to come back and prove that I could play AFL footy again, and to get that opportunity and to win on the G with the great mates, 150th, Watsy. It was great fun. And Watsy. But no, it was a very proud moment. I think worked really hard for that opportunity, and we'll remember that game forever.
Well, Jack, stand by, because we've got a very special presentation for Jack Trengove, who is obviously departing the club. If you can just turn your attention to the screens, we've got this tribute for you.
Trenners, congratulations on the career you've had. I know it's been cut short, unfortunately, due to some circumstances that you probably couldn't control with your foot, but I just wanted to say congratulations. It was 9 years in the system, which is much more than a lot of other people could probably manage. We've come a long way from when I've definitely come a long way. You probably walked into professional, so you didn't come necessarily too far, but there's been some highs and some lows. Unfortunately, with the era that we played in, there's been a lot of lows, but the way you keep going and your tenacity and your professionalism to keep going is next to none. I've only seen you crack once, and that's when you got told you weren't allowed to do something with your foot, and it was actually a pretty dark day. The physio, Sammy Peach, was about to get a forearm to the face. I think he read the play quite well there, but in all seriousness, I think you can hold your head very high. You captained the football club, you played 80-odd games, and hopefully it doesn't finish here, and you're able to continue your career and get back to some of that form that we know Jack Trengove can play. I know I've made a best friend for life, and I can't wait to continue on the festive season of October with you, and then move on to whatever you're going to do next, which I know you're excited to do. So on behalf of all the boys, the 80 odd you've played with, everyone from Reece Healy to Cale Morton, we do thank the time that we're able to spend with you. You're a great leader. You've helped shape the person that I am, and I'm sure many of the boys that are here tonight can say the same thing. So from all of us, we hope that you go on to bigger and better things. Once again, I hope that lifeline comes, but if not, I'm sure you're going to dominate the business world as well. So keep going there, Trent.
So what footy clubs are partly all about is the mateship, and obviously Gordy and Trent is great mates. We've got a special presentation for Jack right now, a special gift. Before we present him with that, I'm going to invite him up to say a few words. Ladies and gentlemen, again, a round of applause for Jack Trengove.
Firstly, thanks Max, they're the nicest things you've ever said about me. Wasn't expecting that. Before I go on, I just want to thank Wayne for coming up and presenting that award tonight. Extremely privileged and honoured to win an award named after Troy, who did some great things for the Melbourne Footy Club. So yeah, thanks Wayne, and I do really appreciate it, so thanks for that. I was asked to make a few thank yous tonight, so bear with me because there's a few here. 8 years has gone pretty quickly. I'll start with the medical staff and conditioning staff, who unfortunately I've spent more time with them than I first thought I was going to, I guess, and I had intended. But obviously my injuries are pretty well noted, and I guess starting from the top, the doctors, Z, Bianca, Laura, physios, Sammy, Jolie and Steve. You know, I've been through a lot with you guys, and I think the thing that a lot of people don't understand is how much they do for us players, and I was dealt some pretty bad news on a number of occasions, and they're always there to sort of pick me up and get me back up going, and you know, believe that I could sort of get back and play again. And I think that was the biggest thing out of it all, is I was told, you know, from a number of specialists that you may never play again, which is pretty hard to hear, but I think it's the true proof is the fact that I haven't missed a beat the last 2 years, besides getting shirt front and knocked out last year. But other than that, you know, my body's been fantastic for me in the last 2 years, and it's a true credit to you guys for all the work that you put in. So thanks very much. And that leads me on to the conditioning staff, probably starting with Misso, Jacko, weights coach, Rigger, Crossy, I'm going to forget someone here, but Jimmy McGeough, Jimmy Costaris, all those sort of guys who put in a lot of hard work and pretty much rebuilt my body again after missing 2 years. My calves turned into shin bones, and you know, you guys are the ones that really provided the program for me to get back and realise my dream again, which I'm extremely thankful for. And then some other really important people around Melbourne that don't get enough credit for what they do. The John Stanaways, the Ryan Larkin, Jen Watt, Nick Kodrick, Brownie, Brian and Marty Dobson, all those sort of guys that put in a hell of a lot of hard work to make sure us boys can go out and perform at our best every week. So I'm really appreciative of you guys as well. Yeah, thanks. Next, the supporters, who a lot of you are here tonight, but you know, ever since I walked in, you guys were right behind me. My Twitter profile said at times that you weren't, but you know, I truly believe that you were behind me the whole time, and I'm really appreciative of you guys. I guess it was probably, you know, the peak of it was, as we alluded to before, the game against Port Adelaide this year, my first game back, and you guys, the MCC, when they erupt, it's pretty amazing. So I'd like to thank you for all the support over the years. The coaches, I think, you know, as I sort of said before, the big thing that I wanted to do when I got injured was to come back and prove that I could play AFL footy again, and I guess you guys facilitated all of that and were always there when I wanted to work on my game, and you know, all those little individual things that you guys go, but a couple in particular, probably Plappy. You know, I've spent a lot of time with you the last 2 years in particular, and I mentioned this at the VFL Best and Fairest the other day, but you know, Plappy really epitomises the notion of wanting to play for your coach. He's seriously passionate and wears his heart in his sleeve, and you know, probably to the detriment of a few knuckles and fists in the coach's box, but he seriously is there to back you in all the way, and I really appreciate what you've done for me the last 2 years, Plappy, and all the best for your new job and new role as an assistant coach. Yeah, thanks. And then probably the other one is Twig. I've had a few coaches in my time here over the 8 years, and it's not a great thing, but Twig has probably been there the longest, or he has been there the longest out of all the coaches that I've had, and I really value our friendship, and he's always there to give me advice when I need it, and tell me when I'm not doing the right thing, but also give me a pat on the back when I'm doing the right thing. And like Clappy, Twig, I really wish you the best for your new role as a VFL coach at Casey. He's the type of bloke that always wants to be in control and have his own team, so I'm really happy to see that you've got that opportunity next year, and I'm sure you'll be very successful at it as well, so thanks, mate. And the players, like coaches, I've had plenty of teammates as well in the 8 years, but you know, you've all given me something, you know, individually, and you've impacted my life in many different ways that I'm sure none of you actually realise, but I think that's the thing that I'll miss the most about leaving the D's, is leaving you boys. I think as a player, you sort of take for granted that you rock up to work every day and you're with 40 of your best mates, and you know, they're there to provide good banter and plenty of bad banter as well, but you know, they're always there to put a smile on your face. And yeah, so I thank you all, but probably in particular Gorney on the video, and Watsy. You guys have yeah, you've probably been my closest mate since I've been at the club, and I wish you all the best for next year. Gorney, I'm sure you'll get back to your All-Australian form next year, which everyone wants to see. And Watsy, wherever you end up. No, but you know, I'll be your number one supporter wherever you go, so all the best, mate. A couple of really special mentions. My host families when I first came, Neil and Penny McMullen, and also Blair and Rosemary Fry. I'm not sure if they're here tonight, but you know, they're the ones that took me in as an innocent little 18-year-old from South Australia, and really mentored me, and you know, provided their homes, and the support from their families was outstanding. And then that leads me on to probably a few others that have played key roles. Don and Claire McClarty, David and Lisa Turin, and then Russell and Kate Howcroft. For those that don't know, like Don was the ex-president, and a few other board members in there with Dave and Russell, and I guess, as I said, I literally walked off the plane and they were there to sort of welcome me in with open arms and really make me a part of their family and make me feel welcome in a foreign city. And the only person I knew was Luke Tapscott, so it was good to get away from him at times to go catch up with you guys. But no, honestly, it truly means the world to know that I've always got you guys there as a great support, so thank you very much. And this is where it's going to get a little bit hard. My family, I said I wouldn't cry. I might get a water. Mum and Dad are here in the audience tonight. I'm probably lucky I can't see Mum because she'd be a blubbering mess for sure. I'm trying to hold it together, Mum. But no, honestly, I'm one of the lucky ones that has... That doesn't help. No, I honestly am. I was trying to think of a few words to say about my family and... I promise you I'm not usually like this. Ryan Larkin said, well, I want you to cry tonight. I was like, no, I won't cry, mate. But yeah, I honestly am the luckiest son alive to have you guys. I should just end it here, shouldn't I? But yeah, 2 older sisters, Mum and Dad. You know, you are the reason I'm here for obvious reasons, but also, you know, the amount of work that you did for me from a young age. You know, my biggest aim was to get to play AFL footy, and you guys provided the environment to allow that and sacrificed a hell of a lot over the years, so, yeah. I didn't even give you enough justice just then. But then Sarah, this one will be hard too. Another drink. I'd love a beer. No, I was thinking this morning, Sarah and I have been together for 3 years, and she's probably seen she actually said before she's never seen me cry, so here you go, Sarah. No, but yeah, 3 years together, and she's seen a lot more downs and ups, and the smartest thing she could have done was probably bought me a dog, so I wouldn't take it out on her every time I get home when I'm frustrated and annoyed with life. But honestly, you know, you've been a huge support for me, and I've got to get going, don't I? But yeah, I absolutely love every bit of you, and thanks so much. So, cheers, Sarah. I promise this is the last thing. She'll hate me for saying this as well, because I think she gets pissed off that I'm so positive all the time. But, and she's probably heard me say this many times as well. But honestly, I think, you know, life's truly there for living, sort of learning, and the most important part, enjoying. And, you know, I've got plenty of years left to do all 3 of those things. And my number one priority is to get another opportunity somewhere, because I feel like I've got so much more to give as an AFL footballer. But, you know, if it doesn't happen, I'll be okay. And I probably won't be up here crying in front of you guys, so maybe it's the best thing. But no, honestly, thanks so much. I really appreciate the support, as I've said all night, and have a great night, and all the best for next year, the D's boys, because I'll be your number one supporters and hoping you do really well. You deserve plenty of success, so thanks very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a huge round of applause to a former captain, an inspiration, an all-round good guy, Jack Trengove.